while we did not see nearly enough resistance to the unconstitutional, corrupt, and criminal actions of the first few days of Donald Trump's administration, since then, Democrats have turned a corner and in one unified voice are fighting back, pushing back, and protesting against everything Donald Trump has done. His assaults on the courts, the rule of law, really Congress at large, and of course our institutions. And one that comes to mind is USAID. Now, of course, Democrats went outside the USAID building to protest Donald Trump and Elon Musk's assault on that agency. But there is one notable figure, not a Democrat, who is standing up to Donald Trump and talking about how important USAID is, that really came out of nowhere. And that is Melania Trump. Yes, Melania Trump caught on video defending the very agency that Donald Trump has been attacking with his co-president Elon Musk, and it's just ruining his plan. And we're going to get into that in just a second. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into that video of Melania Trump, I want to hear one of the best defenses of USAID and one of the best calls to Donald Trump and Musk from Jasmine Crockett right here.
I just want to say thank you, because every day that we show up in D.C., we show up for you. We know who we work for. We know that we work for the American people. And what we're not going to do is stand around while they pull this bullshit that they trying to pull right now.
Go ahead.
This is why I'm not going to be able to preach, because I probably won't be able to stop cussing.
Take your time.
But let me tell y'all something. I know some of y'all have been frustrated, and you've been saying, where are Democrats? Where are our leaders? Well, I'm here to tell you that we ain't never left y'all. All right? We are here. We are also going to make sure that they uphold the law. We are not going to sit around while you go ahead and desecrate our Constitution, or you look at the laws that have been passed into law and say, never mind, we'll just ignore that. Instead, we are going to be in your face, we are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it. So let me tell you something, Mr. Trump. You gonna learn a few lessons from us. And I'm gonna be the first one. You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out, all right? Now let me be clear. What Maxwell said is true. Our job is to conduct oversight. We both serve on the oversight committee. And right now, as elected leaders who try to go in, we were told, well, hold on a second. We got to check to see if you can come in. Now, y'all know he likes to pal around with Putin, right? He's trying to turn us into Russia. But I got news for him. We, the people, will not go.
That's right.
It's cold out here, and y'all, yeah, we won't go. We won't go. We won't go. We won't go. Listen, the final thing I'm going to say is there are those that have said that we may face a constitutional crisis. I want you to know that the crisis is here. I want you to know that the power belongs to the people, though, y'all. Do not feel powerless. In this moment, as the vice president said as she conceded the election, she said, dark times may be ahead of us. But she said, it's only in the darkness that we can see the stars. I am telling you right now that the stars are right here. It is time for us to shine. It is time for us to be heard. It is time for us to make sure that they know we will not go.
Jasmine Crockett, of course, delivering the exact message at the exact time that we need. But in some ways, that's expected. Of course, we would expect Democrats to stand up for agencies that promote U.S. soft power around the globe, that engage in humanitarian efforts that keep the world safer. better off just an agency that is moral at its surface? Of course, Democrats would be standing up for that. But the Melania of it all is what's very shocking. Or maybe it shouldn't be, because just a few years ago, maybe even a few weeks ago, Republicans would support USAID. And that is why this clip from 2018 of Melania Trump talking about how integral this agency is really screwing Donald Trump's plan.
I'm so proud of the work this administration is doing through USAID and others, and look forward to the opportunity to take the message of my Be Best campaign to many of the countries and children throughout Africa. Whether it is education, drug addiction, hunger, online safety or bullying, poverty or disease, it is too often children who are hit first and hardest across the globe.
So I don't know if you remember the Be Best initiative, that mess, but clearly USAID was incredibly imperative to it being conducted. I don't know what it did. If there's any fat to be trimmed at USAID, maybe Elon should look into the Be Best initiative. I don't think we ever really got any information on what that was. Maybe it was another way for Melania to sell jewelry or her memoir. I don't know. But the important point is, it wasn't that long ago when Republicans were talking about how important this institution is, because it is. And it's only changed because Elon Musk has decided that this is the way that he will put up this facade, that he'll pretend that he's focused on cutting wasteful spending, when in fact he wants to direct as much wasteful spending as possible to his pockets. So he's got to lie. And those lies were pointed out in a really perfect way by Lawrence O'Donnell in a clip that I want to check out right here.
It started off as the $50 million condom lie, and when it was proved to be a complete lie, Donald Trump's response was that he's just going to double it. Double the lie to the $100 million condom lie. $100 million that Donald Trump accused USAID of spending on condoms to be sent to Gaza. The truth, USAID spent $0 and 0 pennies sending condoms to Gaza. Zero. Elon Musk complained about $70,000 spent in supporting a play performed in Dublin at the American ambassador's residence. The problem is, as with almost anything involving the American ambassador in Ireland, that was actually paid for by the State Department, not USAID. That's true of a few other items on the very short list of complaints that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have about USAID. The thing they're complaining about was actually paid for by the State Department, not USAID. And no one is trying to close down the State Department because of that play in Dublin. No one's trying to close down the State Department because of those expenditures that the State Department, which Elon Musk and Donald Trump hate, those expenditures, they don't even accurately describe them, but no one's trying to shut down the State Department for those expenditures. Elon Musk and Donald Trump's complaints about USAID amount to less than 1% of the USAID budget, less than 1% of the budget. According to that new rule for closing down a federal agency, the State Department should be closed down because of that play that they helped pay for in Dublin. According to the Musk-Trump waste, fraud, and abuse standard, if the Department of Defense is spending less than 1% of its budget in objectionable ways, then the entire Department of Defense should be closed down. The Pentagon should be emptied. The Defense Department should be put in a wood chipper, as Elon Musk described what he was doing to USAID. The United States Army should just be sent home and fired. Same with the United States Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. But we know it will never matter how much waste, fraud, and abuse might be revealed in the Defense Department. Donald Trump will always try to keep spending more money for defense and sending more and more money to the Pentagon. The Defense Department budget is $841 billion. The USAID budget is $40 billion. Objective estimates, outside estimates of waste in the Defense Department budget are at least $60 billion. $20 billion more than the entire USAID budget. But no one at the Defense Department has been told to stay home. USAID saves lives. USAID is the only international branch of the American government whose day-to-day mission every year, every day of the year, is saving lives through the distribution of life-saving medicine and in regions of famine with the distribution of food. That kind of famine aid has been saving lives every day in Sudan. Not anymore. Today, the Office of the Inspector General at USAID issued a report saying shipments of in-kind food assistance have been delayed around the world. This uncertainty put more than $489 million of food assistance at ports, in transit, and in warehouses at risk of spoilage, unanticipated storage needs, and diversion. Diversion can include stealing that food. And so Elon Musk has created his own form of waste, fraud, and abuse at USAID by wasting $489 million of food while children are starving who need that food. The Inspector General's report includes this new information. USAID staff have reported that the counterterrorism vetting unit supporting humanitarian assistance programming has in recent days been told not to report to work. USAID has staff dedicated to making sure that food and medicine and valuable humanitarian assistance gets to the right people in the right place, with extra concentration in making sure that it doesn't end up in the hands of terrorists. And thanks to Elon Musk and Donald Trump, no one is doing that counterterrorism vetting now. And children who could have lived are starving to death. Marie Antoinette was beheaded in the French Revolution because of the attitude expressed in the most repeated story about her when told that the poor people of France were starving because they had no bread. She said, "Let them eat cake." 232 years later, Elon Musk says, "Let them eat nothing."
Their lies are so central to this operation, more so than the complete control that Donald Trump wants over our government. He needs a media apparatus to push his narrative, to convince voters that he's delivering on promises. Promises, of course, he's already broken, but with his buddies at TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, of course Twitter, Google as well, he can try to shape that narrative. But it's upon us to combat it, to call it out, show everybody what the lies are. They're pretty clear, they're pretty simple, but it is up to us to flood our zone, Steve Bannon would say, hate to quote him there, but to flood the zone with calling out Donald Trump. It is what we are going to be doing on the show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, you drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.